What is up, investors? Jason here. So we're going to be talking about Cardano, going a bit more into technicals with it, but also, of course, covering what the crypto market in general is doing, what Bitcoin is doing. And I think that we're going to be seeing a massive rally within the crypto market, and that is just due to the current trends that I'm seeing. What the stock market is doing. The stock market plays a big factor, mostly NASDAQ. Looking at what's going on with NASDAQ, because we know it's been beat up for a few months now. So we're going to be checking the trends here. We're going to be checking the trends from April to now within NASDAQ and the crypto market, because these are things that are very important to be paying attention to. So we're going to be taking the second quarter of 2022 and compare that to what we're seeing now here in the third quarter of 2022. So as we get to it, if you don't mind, please do me a huge favor. Please be sure to smash, destroy, annihilate, or gently press that like button. It helps me out with the algorithm, helps spread this content to more people that might find it interesting, and subscribe if you have not already. And subscribing really does help me out a lot, especially if you like crypto related content, news, information on cryptocurrencies, a little bit of stock market stuff, and technical analysis, because, well, that's what I do every single day. So now let's get to it. So currently, between the entire crypto market, the crypto market cap is around $959 billion. So we're getting closer and closer to that $1 trillion mark. And a large majority of that, 43.1% is Bitcoin and 15.4% is Ethereum, which we can see the dominance that Bitcoin and Ethereum have here. But what we're talking about mostly is going to be Cardano, which we're seeing these large amount of movement if we look at it from the weekly basis, with Cardano up more than 5% over these last 7 days. But if you really think about it, when we start compounding here, when you start thinking about compound growth and start looking at the weekly chart and how in 1 week Bitcoin was managed to move more than 12% in 1 week, and Ethereum managed to move more than 14%. When you start taking that into account, if we can do the same thing next week, then you're going to really start seeing those larger numbers within the price of Bitcoin. And that's when we're going to really start to see this growth really start accelerating. So for some people, you're going to probably think, hey, we're not seeing too much movement. But when you start thinking about the compounding factor on a weekly basis, then you're going to really start seeing some numbers grow on these charts. Now, at the moment, with seeing so much green over these last 7 days, this is another reason why I think that the big breakout for the crypto market is going to be happening here very soon. So I want to pull up what we're seeing currently with Cardano. Now, Cardano is my favorite altcoin. It's my largest altcoin holding. And what we're seeing, if we were to compare Cardano from the beginning of the second quarter of 2022, the beginning of April, looking at what we're seeing, looking at this pattern here, that we were seeing with the price every time we were seeing Cardano start to make some moves. So what we're seeing at this moment is we're very close to actually possibly breaking out of this pattern. So when we started the second quarter in the month of April, what we were seeing is the price of ADA just continuously going down at that time. So at one point in the middle of the month of May, we saw the price of ADA then do a big drop, and that was with the whole Terra Luna fiasco that was going on. But we got to a point within that price of ADA that it had a bottom there, most likely, that bottom being around 39 cents. And then what do we see? We saw it continuously staying above the price of around 44 cents. A lot of support at the price of 44 cents with ADA. And we were seeing a good amount of volatility for a while there, and then as we started to get halfway through the month of June and we were getting close to ending that second quarter, what did we see? We just saw the consolidation become more and more. So just this large amount of consolidation, and then the price movement started being less and less. I mean, if we were to even look at the last 3 days, there was hardly any movements within the price of ADA. It's just been very consistent, staying around the prices that it's currently at. And this isn't very common to see ADA do. ADA is very volatile, but it hasn't been as volatile over these last few days. So what we're doing now is we're on the verge of breaking out of this pattern that we've been into for the previous quarter on into now. So if we're going to be breaking out of this pattern here in this third quarter, well, this could be huge here, because ADA also has a tendency of breaking out of patterns in July as well. So we've seen it before in the past, but this is also big for all the altcoins out there, because this pattern isn't just ADA doing this. ADA is performing along with, as well as what it's doing with the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's doing something very similar. So pulling up Bitcoin, And we can see that Bitcoin's also been in a pattern here. To pan out a little bit with the Bitcoin pattern, what we're seeing is that Bitcoin's been very consistent within this pattern, within this fallen wedge pattern here. And then what we start to see is a lot of this sideways trading in the middle of the month of June, very similar to like what we're seeing with the price of ADA doing. But the only thing with Bitcoin is Bitcoin was staying under that price of $22,000. Now what we started to see is Bitcoin continuously testing that price. So there's that possibility of Bitcoin having a breakout above that price. But at the same time, what are we seeing? We're seeing Bitcoin above that 20-day moving average. We're also above that 20-day moving average at the moment with Cardano floating around there right now. So we have Bitcoin above that 20-day moving average. It's moving above that price, hopefully, of $22,000 here soon. It's having a hard time. There's a bit of resistance there, but we might be seeing Bitcoin start trending upwards to break out of this pattern that it's been into. Bitcoin has a little ways to go. It's not as close as Cardano is to the pattern that it's been showing, but there is that possibility that it can break out of this pattern, and we can probably see some gains within Bitcoin, and that will, of course, bring up the entire crypto market. Now, if Bitcoin is able to start trending upwards to that 50-day moving average, then that's going to be really great to see. Now, I want to also show you guys what we're seeing with NASDAQ, and then I'll go back to Cardano and do some more comparisons with that. So looking at what we're seeing with NASDAQ at this moment, this is very key to be looking at, because NASDAQ was also in this wedge here that it had been in through the whole second quarter. And what we're seeing in this wedge is that it just started to break out of it. And I also want to show you something here. Look at the price of NASDAQ in January of 2021, the beginning of January of 2021. It's still under that price. I mean, if you think about how much the stock market has lost, it's lost the entire gains that it made at the beginning of 2022 and then all of 2021. It is still at the price that it was back in around the summer of 2020, around the summer of 2020. Sorry, get my 20s mixed up here. So NASDAQ did break out of a pattern. So this is very big for crypto, seeing that NASDAQ broke out of this pattern, and NASDAQ has also been influencing a lot of the price of Bitcoin, of course, and influencing a lot of the price of the entire crypto market. So this is what is a major thing going on, and this is a big driving force. Now, also, what are we going to get a lot in July? We're going to be getting earnings of what's been going on during the second quarter. So if we get some good positive earnings too, that's just going to make things more bullish, especially, if we're going to hear more and more good things about what's going on with inflation and interest rates and all that other stuff that's also influencing the market a lot. If we start getting some good news, then we can start seeing even better performance within NASDAQ and crypto and everything else. And just because there's always that one or two or three people that will comment always saying something negative about what we're seeing within the price movements, if we see something that's going to be breaking out or the market could be getting bullish, that doesn't mean that we're going to be getting back to levels that we were at the highs of a bull market anytime soon. It can take a very long time to recover from the damage that a bear market has done. A bull market is much longer than a bear market. Bull market moves much slower, gradually going up. A bear market is very quick. It can drop down the price of the market very fast over a short period of time, like what we've seen with NASDAQ or Bitcoin, how just a matter of a few months could wipe out more than a year or 2 years of gains that we had seen in the market. So it could take years to get back to those levels. So keep that in mind. Now, to talk more about why I think we're going to be seeing a breakout with crypto is looking at this comparison here with the ADA Bitcoin chart. So looking at what we've been seeing the price of ADA for a while there, trying to get over that 200-day moving average. And at the moment, it's starting to move down a little bit. And this is just because we've been seeing the price of Bitcoin start moving up. So we've been seeing the Bitcoin start increasing more value there. And ADA not really making any moves lately over these last few days. So what we're seeing, though, is when we look at this comparison here with the moving averages, the 20-day moving average creeping up to that 200-day moving average, and that 50-day moving average passing that 100-day moving average. Now, ADA isn't the only cryptocurrency doing this. The other altcoins are doing this as well. So let's just pull up the Solana Bitcoin chart real quick and just throw this out here real quick, where we also had the same sort of situation going on with Solana, where it was moving up trying to work its way up to that 200-day moving average. Now, at the moment, Solana is also above that 50-day moving average. But what I'm really trying to compare here is the fact that the altcoins started to make their moves to a breakout before we were seeing before we were seeing this happen with Bitcoin. So now Bitcoin is starting to have a reaction here. The altcoins started to move, and Bitcoin wasn't making any sort of moves. Now we're starting to see that with Bitcoin now at this moment. We're starting to see the price of Bitcoin start going up. I mean, think about it. Last 7 days, the price of Bitcoin is up 14%, over 14%. So we're starting to see that trend going on now. We're starting to see some movement over in the crypto market, and it's the price of Bitcoin is matching what NASDAQ is doing. Now the altcoins, they've just been ready for a breakout in general, which I think that we're going to just see some very big gains with altcoins with the next big crypto rally. And I think personally Cardano is going to have the most to gain with that. That's just because of the fact that the price of ADA is just down significantly from where it was at its highs. I mean, September 2021, the price of ADA USD was above $3. At $3.10 was a high. So it's down significantly from there. So Bitcoin's down 2/3 of its value, more than 2/3 of its value. The price of ADA is down more than twice that. So just to do that in comparison, I think that there's a lot of potential with Cardano. But anyways, I keep making this Cardano content and other crypto content. If you guys like this type of content, please really do consider subscribing. I like to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. So with that being said, like, share, comment, subscribe. New content coming out all the time. See you in the next one.